Hi everyone, Melissa here, and in this week's video I have a guest star. Amanda's joining me for this video. Hi Amanda.
Hi guys, how are you?
So today, super exciting, we are going to do a Q&A. A bunch of viewer and client questions have been coming in, so we thought it would be a good time to talk about it. And just a reminder, I have a sale going on through the month of April, 25% off coaching and courses. Info will be in the description of this video. Okay.
And Melissa is amazing. She is going to help you find your blocks, give you an action plan, and a bunch of intentions that you can use in your rental diet. And guys, remember, you know what? Honestly, I mean, basically, we give away everything in our videos anyway. So you don't have to sign up for coaching. You can always watch our videos and figure it out, right? But, you know, if you would like the extra support, we are here for you, right? So just to let you know, and she's got some great affirmation tracks as well that have helped clients to get lots of movement. So yeah, I thought I'd just add that in because I know you're not going to say good things about yourself.
Well, thanks, Amanda.
We always do get great feedback from Melissa's clients. They get movement and she really does care, and that's amazing. So
I do care. And
yes,
anybody can do this. You know, this is your birthright. You're meant to manifest everything you want in this beautiful 3D experience. So if you would like help, I am here. And courses are awesome if you just want to do them on your own time and pick it up at, you know, every day. Do a little here, do a little there. So
see, that's why I like courses. And I'm going to talk about this now is because I created them because I like them, because for me, like, to sit down with a pen and paper and to like start like trying to figure out what I'm going to manifest can sometimes be hard. So like a course, it's like when I buy courses, it's like, okay, this course is going to guide me through. And that's what our courses do. They guide you through. They don't teach you anything, or, you know, we're not saying, oh, you need to buy this because we're going to teach you something you don't know. No, they're just really a way for you to give yourself time and for guided focus on creating the reality that you want. And that's what I really like about doing courses. Like when I do courses, I like it when they give you little activities in the course and, you know, just to keep you engaged and to be working on it, right? So, you know, I do like that. Like right now I'm taking a 12-week program and they give you homework, you know, and you watch a video and then you do a little course, you answer a few questions. And I love it because this course is actually on, you know, basically, you know, manifesting good health and, you know, manifesting all these great things with health and diet and exercise. And so it's really fun to have that once a week. We have a group call, and then we have, you know, this extra course stuff. It's just really fun to do, and it keeps me accountable rather than, you know, if I don't have a course or something, I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow.
So, yeah, I mean, courses and coaching, it really is just a time for you to dedicate focus to your goals, to your manifestations, and just to help keep you on track and, you know, the momentum going in the direction of your desire. So anyways, there's a big sale. Check it out if you want. This video is going to give a lot of stuff away too, because we have a bunch of great questions from some viewers and clients. So let's get into it. Okay. So the first question that I really loved was, how do I have faith? How do I believe? And that's really referring to, how do I believe in my manifestation? And a lot of times I notice the reason people get tripped up with belief is because they're putting too much of their attention on what is not showing up or what is showing up that they don't like in their physical reality, in their 3D. So my answer to this question would be, you give yourself permission to have faith. You allow yourself the tiniest bit of permission. That's all it takes, is to just believe in the possibility of something better. Believe in the possibility of a better assumption, a better thought. Believe in the possibility that what you want exists and is available to you and is true now. Even if you can't see it right now, you give yourself permission to just, maybe this could be true for me. You know, just giving yourself permission in the possibility would be my first tip for how to have faith.
Exactly. And me, you know, I love that. And what I did to build faith is, you know, I created a list of little things, okay, little things to manifest. And every day I would add to that list and see what manifested on that list. And by doing that, it really built my faith, because, you know, I would intend someone would want to buy me a coffee. And then somebody would say, oh, I bought you coffee, bring it over. Someone buy me lunch, you know, my mom would buy lunch and bring it over. I intend somebody would give me groceries. Boom. You know what? Somebody would come over with a bag of groceries and vegetables for me. And, you know, and at the time I was working in this job, I would intend intend that, a coworker would wear a certain color, then they would wear that color, and I would intend that, I would go out with my friends because I wasn't with Andrea yet, and someone would buy me a drink, and then somebody would buy me a drink. So like I intended all these little things that I knew weren't like so common that I could just like go, oh, this is like too obvious. Like this, I didn't create this. They were just odd enough that I knew I created them. And then the other thing I did was I took one complaint in my life, which was paying for parking. And I took that complaint and I stopped complaining about it. Okay, for 2 weeks. And all I did every time I thought about it was said, I'm going to get free parking. I'm going to get free parking. And I didn't complain to my friends. I didn't, I paid for parking and I said, next time it's going to be free. And I kept a really strong mental diet on this. And all of a sudden, I'm not kidding you, like parking became free. I would go to a meter. There was still money on it. I would go to a parkade. Somebody would give me their parking ticket. I would find parking just around the corner closer to where I was going. That was free. I would go to events and everyone going to that event, the parking would be free. I ended up getting a part-time job that paid for my parking. So, it just all of a sudden, everybody in the universe conspired to give me that free parking. So, that's what I suggest everybody do to build their belief because, like you guys all know my fried chicken story. I intended I would get fried chicken and Andrew showed up with this half-eaten lunch of fried chicken when we were dating. And I was like, that's it. If fried chicken can come to my door, anything can come to my door, So that's how I built my belief. And that's how I recommend doing it because, when you have those moments, even if it's such a small thing like fried chicken changed my life. Okay. Like it obviously did.
Something else is when you're in the moment of disbelief, you manifested that as well. So that alone should give you confidence of how good you are at this. You're so good at manifesting that you didn't even know, you didn't even realize that you manifested thinking that you can't have what you want or perceiving that what you want is not possible for you. So if you can manifest that, you can obviously absolutely manifest the opposite of that, right? Because everything is possible. So
right, exactly. Yeah.
So really just like Amanda said, start practicing shifting your focus, start opening yourself up to the possibilities that, anything you want can manifest and is already in existence.
Exactly. It's already there.
And one other little tip for that one, if you see somebody else that has something you want, use that to your benefit. If they can do it, I can do it. That's another way you can build your belief. It exists for them. They were able to do it. It must be true for me too.
Exactly. I use everything as a catalog and, and avoid comparing yourself with others and getting yourself down about things because, there is no destination. It's just the journey. It's funny. I was chatting with some people over the weekend and somebody was like, well, you don't have as many subscribers as other people. And it's like, wow, I never thought of, basically making, my success be what the numbers on the channel are. We've always here at CYF have, measured our success by the amount of people we help and how we help them, and how we transform their lives. And we put our energy and intention into that rather than, some numbers going up on a screen. Right. But it's like, and it's never been important to me to go, oh, so-and-so has it. So, sure, if they can create it, I'm going to create it. We're going to go to 1 million, no problem, even 1 billion. We're definitely going to make it there. But, I think it's important not to put your whole entire self-worth on that and your self-concept because you're God. You're God. You're great right now, no matter what. And don't let anyone tell you that you're less than because somebody has something more than you, right? It's just your choice. You choose to choose, and you choose to manifest what you want. And if you want to do it, start doing it,
And that brings me to question number 2, which is the universe just testing me when opposing circumstances show up in my face? Like when I'm trying to manifest what I want, and then I'm deliberately focusing on it, I'm affirming it, and then all of a sudden the exact opposite shows up in my face. That's just the universe testing me. Okay. First of all, this goes along with what Amanda was just saying about not letting what somebody else says make you feel less than. The only judge of anything in your reality is you. There's no higher power. There's no universe. There's no anything above you saying you can't have this. You can't have this. I know you want this, but I'm going to throw this at you to test you to see, do you really want it? Like, can you really manifest? I'm going to make you doubt it by throwing this opposite circumstance in your face, this thing you really don't want. There's nothing doing that to you. You are the only judge because you are the only perceiver in your experience. So when opposing circumstances come up, it's an opportunity for you to look at it, which on its own means nothing. It has no meaning. You look at it, you decide, what am I going to make this mean? Do I think this is good? Do I think this is bad? Do I prefer this? Do I not prefer this? Okay. And then you lead your thoughts in the direction that you prefer. So opposing circumstances are not another entity outside of you or anything outside of you testing you. They're just always a thing, and they're always an opportunity for you to choose your experience. It's like a choose your adventure book. Okay, I see this showing up in front of me. Am I going to go left? Am I going to go right? Nobody's telling you which way you have to go. It's your choice.
Exactly. And there's no one out there testing you. There is nobody out there testing you. And, that's why I always say that questioning is not a mental diet. Who are you asking when you question? When you question, do they like me? Do they want to be with me? Is this going to happen? Why isn't this happening? Who are you asking? You're the only one in your quantum bubble. Just you, baby. Just you. So start answering your own questions. So there's no one to answer your questions but yourself. And there's no one in your universe testing you. It may look like people are testing you, or the universe or somebody out there is testing you, but there really isn't, because what happens is pretty much every thought that you have goes out into the universe. Okay. So, when you have those moments where you're fighting with yourself, potentially both of those thoughts, the good one and the bad one, have that, potential to manifest, but sometimes people can also have a belief that things got to get better before they get worse. Well, then that will look like you're being tested. Or if you say the universe is going to test me, boom, guess what? You are going to manifest things that are going to test you to come at you. So lose that story completely. Everything happens for you easily and effortlessly. No, excuse me. You don't need to lose that story if you don't want. You can keep it if you want, but I suggest losing it, because why can't you just say, I get everything I want easily and effortlessly? Nothing tests me. Everything's so easy for me in my life. Everything's so smooth for me. Everything that I experience in my life makes me feel good. Period.
Right.
Why not? You deserve it. You can create that.
And the circumstance that you're perceiving as opposite of what you want, because you're the one that gives it the meaning, it can always be a bridge of incidents leading you to any one of your multiple desired manifestations, if you will let it. But because you're the only judge of it, because you're the only one giving it meaning, the only perceiver of it, if you get in the way of, if you give it a perception, a meaning that is contrary to what you want, it's not going to be part of a bridge to that. You've now, because everything is its own manifestation. So you've now changed your story, and the narrative will play out that what you don't want is possible and true for you.
Exactly. And you know what, guys, that just reminded me of something to say. This is really just kind of off topic, but we're having a contest when we get to 100,000 subscribers. We're giving away 3 free coaching sessions to 3 different people, 1 coaching session each. And all you need to do to enter is subscribe, share our videos and tag us in it, and comment what you've manifested using the law of assumption. Okay. So yeah, yeah, absolutely. Nothing out there is testing you. It's all you. So just embrace what you've got. I ruined our flow. What's the next question?
Okay, question number 3. How do you change a negative belief, or just a belief that you don't feel is serving you? Okay, so I love this question because so many people have talked about this in so many different ways, and you got to do all these different techniques. But my answer to this is always, it's pretty simple. Manifesting is very simple. It's stop telling yourself something you don't prefer is true. And the way you do that is you stop agreeing with the unwanted belief. So let's say the belief is, I don't have enough money. Okay. And you're constantly seeing circumstances show up in your reality that are proving that belief that seem to be proving that belief to be true to you. So if you wanted to stop believing that, if you wanted to change that belief, you would notice when you're telling yourself that, That's something that I don't prefer. That's something that I don't like. Okay, I'm not going to agree with it anymore. I'm not going to agree that I'm broke anymore. I'm actually going to start telling myself that money flows to me constantly and I have abundance in every area of my life. And then the more you tell yourself that, the more you're going to naturally agree with it. Boom, your belief has changed. You kicked out the belief that you don't prefer because you stopped focusing on that what I don't want is true, and you started agreeing with and focusing on what I want is true and possible for me now.
Exactly. And you know what? I just had this happen for me this week. So, I had this belief, and this belief was pretty negative and it was pretty dark and it made me feel pretty bad. Right. So all week I started doing what Melissa said, a mental diet, and I started like changing the belief, and I just started throwing out what I wanted to see instead. So I thought that nobody supported me. Everybody was against me in this particular situation. Then I started going, no, everybody sees it like this. Everybody's standing with me. Everybody, knows I'm a good person. And I just went and started throwing all that out there. And then it just so happened that I happened to run into, my intentions, my new intentions showing up in my reality and manifesting. And I looked at them and I went, wow, okay, my God, you know what? I'm like, I can see every single thought is just right there. Like, you know what? My intentions came true. And then at that moment, I went and I sat down and I went, yeah, you know what? I'm shifting my belief. I no longer believe that old story that people are against me. I now believe the story, that I've been telling myself for the last week because I've seen it manifest, that, you know what? No, people are with me. People stand behind me. People know I'm a good person. People know I do the right thing and I stand up for myself, and it was nice to see that shift. And that's how you change that belief, is you start telling yourself the new story, okay? Because none of this is real anyway. And then once it shows up in your reality, that's the moment you shift. The other way that you can do it, right, is you can just kind of look at things and go, well, you know what, is that really the perspective? Okay, so let's say, for instance, I was supposed to have coffee with Jerry today, but he cancels. Now, I could be like worried and go, oh my God, Jerry doesn't like me anymore. He doesn't want to be friends. Okay, so that's a pretty bad belief. Or I can turn around and go, no, you know what? He was just busy. We're totally still friends and he's going to see me, tomorrow. Okay, so your meaning that you give something will also create your belief, right? So, watch the meanings that you have in the moment, right? Because nothing means anything until you give it that meaning, right?
Right. So in the moment, if you're feeling bad about something, check in and ask yourself, what am I making this mean right now? Because that's what's making me feel bad. It's not the actual thing. It's the meaning I'm giving to the thing.
Exactly. You know what? The monkeys, like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, very much needs to apply to life. If you don't make anything mean, evil, then nothing is going to mean evil. Right. But, it's okay though, to like create something, you had a negative thought and it manifested. It's okay to recognize that, but then, you've got to change it if you want it to change. Right.
Right. And sometimes that's how we figure out what we prefer instead. In some cases, you might not know what you want. Something shows up. You're like, oh, I don't like that. Okay, I'm going to start to assume better, which is going to mean a better experience.
Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? Like, like when I think about the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, like we're going to get a little bit deep here. It's kind of like, and what thought just came to my mind, and it's like, okay, well, let's say, my boyfriend's, Jerry's cheating on me. Okay. Well, I mean, how are you supposed to like not see that for what it is? Do you know what I mean? So we're not talking about being delusional about what actually has happened in the past year 3D. If it's something like that, you can't go, oh, well, I mean, if you have proof it happened, you can't say it didn't happen, right? So you would want to change your story at that point, and move forward. But, we're talking about little things, like, things that would lead up to it. So, for instance, let's say, Jerry's always home late, and he says he works late, instead of assuming that he's cheating, which will create the cheating, changing the meaning that, okay, believing him, he is just working late, and that sort of thing. Right. So, we're not talking about things that have actually like solidly manifested. We're talking things that you can change the meaning on that are subjective, that it's like, well, was he really working late or wasn't he? Well, pick the answer that makes you feel good, because that is what's actually going to create what comes in the future, right? So when you're at that fork in the road, right?
And when you're at that fork in the road and you see something that has manifested, you can also revise it. Take a minute to change what you're believing is true about it, and then the circumstance is going to change, right? Nothing is nothing is fixed and permanent unless your story is fixed and permanent.
Exactly. But let's go back to the cheating thing because this could be fun. So if you didn't actually see it, you know what I would do is I'd be like, if I heard it through a friend, I would basically create that was incorrect and that wasn't true. Like there's so many ways around this, right? Like sometimes you got to get creative, right? You know, I mean, but if you saw it with your own two eyes, well, you know, you're looking at a little bit of a different
so
thing,
to your
right?
point, if you saw something with your own eyes that you truly didn't like, it might be harder for you to look at that and be like, well, that never happened. That's not true.
Exactly.
So then in that case, sometimes the path of least resistance for the revision is, okay, I saw it. What am I going to decide is true moving forward? You know, make it work in your favor, change the story moving forward.
Exactly. So, you know, it's funny because there's all these like little techniques depending on the varying degree of what and how it's showing up in your reality, you know, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why we don't actually, you know, do a lot of like answering questions in the comments, because it's never a simple answer. It's like, okay, what happened? What did you see? What did you witness? What did someone say? What did someone not say? Like there's a lot of questions that go in to figure out, you know, what the situation is to, you know, to what we're going to do to fix it, right?
What's
you know,
the story
and
you're
also
really telling, yeah.
And it also, I think, you know, changing the story to what's believable to you is huge. Okay. Like something that may be believable to me may not be believable to you. And so, you know, you want what you change your story into and your belief and what you know, revise to be believable for you. Right. So, you know,
and that's constantly shifting, you know, so just be open to new possibilities, and in those moments ask yourself, okay, how can I assume better? How can I spin this to work in my favor? And you'll never go wrong. You know, that's always going in the right direction because you're changing your focus to what you prefer instead.
Exactly. Wow, we went in left field on that
I know,
one.
right? Okay, this question came from a viewer. Is imagination the only reality? I heard some coaches saying that thoughts do not manifest, affirmations don't work, and the key to manifesting is imagination. Is it? So that's kind of a loaded question, but my first answer would be, first of all, anybody that tells you something that feels limiting, don't accept it as true for you. That's just a blanket statement, okay? Because remember, you're the only perceiver. So if you don't like a rule somebody's giving you, don't accept it as true for you, and it will not show up in your experience. Then my next part of that answer would be, your awareness is everything. Where you place your focus, what you're making things mean, that's all getting to the same point. So if a technique helps you to shift your awareness, to shift your focus, it's going to work for you. And whatever you think is going to work for you is going to work for you. But your awareness is everything. So sometimes people will say, you need to imagine, you need to do SATs, and that's how you're going to manifest what you want. Sometimes people will say, you need to affirm, and that's how you're going to get what you want. It's all getting to the same thing, which is, what am I looking at out here and perceiving? Does it match what I want? No. Okay, I got to change that. So that's what all those techniques are for. But imagination, affirmations, it's all you. It's all, what are you accepting as true in your experience for you?
Right. So sorry, could you read that question again?
Yes. Okay. Is imagination the only reality? I heard some coaches saying thoughts don't manifest, affirmations don't work. The key to manifesting is imagination. Okay, so let me just add one more thing to it about thoughts don't manifest. So every thought you have manifests in some way, and that's not meant to scare anybody, because you are constantly projecting out your physical experience via your mind. So yes, thoughts manifest, but it's the meaning you give them that maintains whatever narrative you want in your experience.
Right. So, okay. So imagination is the only thing. Okay. And what I feel like Neville says about imagination, so it's anything that's going on inside of here is my imagination. That's it. Right. So whenever you have a thought, okay, if I say to you right now, don't think of a blue duck, you just thought of a blue duck. Okay. Because Your mind automatically makes pictures when you think, when you talk, when you do affirmations. So your subconscious mind is constantly listening to the thoughts inside your head, the affirmations that you're saying, and it's making them into pictures for you. Okay. So your imagination, your subconscious mind always and only sees in pictures. It doesn't see in anything else. Okay. So you can manifest any way you want. Okay. You can visualize, you can do, scripting, you can do, affirmations. Let me put it this way. When you read a book, you visualize what you're reading. That's the same thing when you're doing affirmations and talking. And, when you talk with a friend and you're describing how you're in the grocery store and all of a sudden the milk went spilling and then somebody's seeing eye dog slipped on it. And then all of a sudden, the whole thing of chocolate bars came crashing down. I mean, you're visualizing it, right? So, verbal turns into pictures. So thoughts create, and thoughts are your imagination. Okay. It's like, you ever heard a kid telling you this crazy story out of their imagination because they're looking at, you can think about it. You think about something and you describe it to someone. So it's all coming from imagination. So yes, your thoughts create. Yes, visualizing creates. How do you manifest? By focusing on what you want. Okay. Think of it this way. You've been manifesting your entire life. You just became consciously aware how to do it now. Okay. So why does that mean that all of a sudden you learned how to do it now? And now all you can do is visualize, nothing else manifests. Your words don't, your affirmations don't. Well, that's funny. How are you manifesting your life before you knew about LOA? With your thoughts, with your words, with your beliefs. So, I'm sorry, whoever said it. I don't mean to, maybe we've misunderstood what they said, but, all of your thoughts, affirmations, intentions, all of your words create a picture in your subconscious mind. And that's how you manifest. Okay. That's proven in quantum physics. I'm an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, as well as a hypnotherapist. We learn all about it there, and it is based in quantum physics, right? So once you have a thought, you change your reality to match that thought and intention, right? So your thoughts are energy and they are always working, right? But yeah, you know what? That's your imagination. So anyway, I intend that clears up that question.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to people explain that, but it's
there's
all
so many people that can't visualize. Like that sucks. I'm basically saying that like anybody that can't visualize can't manifest. Right. Like that's a scary thought. Right. Why would anyone say that? I'm sorry that I've manifested someone in our reality to say that. That's not cool. Because I don't visualize.
And affirmations absolutely work. You're doing it all day long. Yeah.
That means my own entire life manifesting everything I did was a fluke because I haven't visualized any of it.
Right, exactly.
Which I know is not true.
Anyway. So hopefully that clears that up.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Next question. How do you not fear negative thoughts? Okay, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but the way I don't fear negative thoughts is I remind myself of my power in those moments. So when that thought comes up, I remind myself, okay, negative thought, you have no power over me. I am the power. I'm the one giving you life and my experience. I'm going to choose not to believe in you right now. I'm going to choose not to agree with you right now. I'm going to choose a better thought, which is going to manifest a better experience.
Exactly. I missed the question again. How did I do in school?
How do you not fear negative thoughts? What's your technique?
I mean, so if it's coming from somebody else, I disagree with them like right away. I don't agree with them. They're like, oh, there's going to be such a lineup at that, at that restaurant. I'm like, no, there's not. I intend that there's nobody there. But in my own head, I mean, I just accept it that, they happen. And I don't give them any power. I say to myself, thanks for sharing, but that doesn't make me feel very good. And then I say, I want this instead. You know what? when you make a declaration for something, this beautiful thing happens in the world is everything that's not in line with it shines. Okay. Even your negative thoughts. Okay. So you say, look at, I want to marry Jerry. Okay. And all of a sudden Jerry's like, I don't want a commitment. And then all of a sudden, you know, somebody else has something to say, oh, you'll never get married. Your mom, you know, I'm against you marrying that person. Like every negative thought you have and everything in your reality that you've created to oppose that is going to show up. And that's your way of your brain going, hey, you need to deal with these things for you to get what you want. So when I have a negative thought come, I thank it because it gives me an opportunity to go, hey, you're right. I don't want that. You know, Jerry's got commitment issues. Oh my God, that sounds terrible. That's making me upset to think about. I intend Jerry's ready for a commitment. I intend he wants to marry me. Moving on. So, you know, take every negative thought that you have as an opportunity to build and create what you actually want to see in your reality, because sometimes you don't know what you want until you know what you don't want.
Right. Right. Yeah. Just like we
know?
mentioned before, sometimes in opposing circumstances, what shows you, oh, I actually really would prefer this instead.
Exactly. Exactly. So don't be scared of them. I mean, the more you're scared of them, the more you resist them, the more they're going to persist, right? You can also start intending things like, I intend I only have positive thoughts. I intend that every thought that I have makes me feel good. I intend it's easy to stick on my mental diet, you know. Yeah, you can do that as well, right? You know, and you know, I know I've created like when I'm tired, like then I get all crabby. You know what? I need to change that story. Whether I'm awake or tired, no matter how I feel, I always have positive thoughts that make me feel good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pen drop.
And something, just a little tip, to try to prevent having tons of negative thoughts, start your day off from a place of empowerment. Before you get out of bed, before you look at your phone, remind yourself of your power. Today's going to be a really good day. Everything always works out for me. My thoughts create, and I'm the one that gives them the meaning. Everyone is me pushed out. I love my life and I love myself. And if you start your day off from that place, I guarantee you it's going to be easier to keep the momentum going in the positive wanted direction.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, that was really good. Have we gone through all the questions?
Okay, we'll do one more question. So this one is, how much should you affirm? So I'm gonna guess that this is how much should you affirm for what you want, right? So my answer to this would be as much as possible, as much as you want, but especially when you catch yourself thinking, I can't have what I want is not true.
I say keep affirming until you get it, because trust me, after you get it, you still need to keep affirming. You know, maybe not as much because it's shown up, but you know, like, I mean, I affirmed, and me and Andrew got married, and I still have to affirm, you know, on occasion that he wants to be with me, because as soon as I start thinking he doesn't want to be with me, it's going to shift that quickly. So, you know, you've got to do it as long as you want it, as long as you want that to be your story, right? So, you know, there is no easy way out on this, guys. You know, it's a story that you want to carry, and, you know, you may not need to affirm it. I may not need to affirm every minute of every day or have a lot of thoughts about me and Andrew wanting to be together, but there are moments that it shows up that I say, oh, wow, you know, oh, well, maybe he doesn't. No, he does want to be with me, you know, so you have to keep it. So, you know, affirm until you see it, and then keep affirming after you see it, because if you start going the other way, it's going, you know, it's going.
And that's where we say maintain a good mental diet, you know, that's
exactly.
it right there.
Exactly. That's amazing. I love these question and answers. We should do them again.
Yeah, these are fun. You got anyone who sent in questions, thank you so much. And please send in more, because this is really fun to talk about, and it's good to remind everybody.
Yeah, I thought we only had 3 questions, but it's like, that's why I'm like another one. But I also answer once a month question and answers during our YouTube lives. I do that as well. So definitely, if you're subscribed, hit the bell icon so you can also get notified when I do the live, so you can pop on and ask a question. I stream it on TikTok as well as YouTube. So, well, thank you so much for having me on your video. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, Amanda. Thanks everyone for watching. I intend you got something out of this and had a breakthrough moment. And we're here if you need us. So I think that's it for this video. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, bye-bye.